Hey guys, welcome to a new oh, looks like Stumpy Daryl hanged himself after not being reviewed for so long. Oh well, hey guys, here's my review of Eugene. Now, some of you may know that Eugene is a rare figure, mainly in the, not on online, he's kind of regular priced, but you can't find him so easily out in the wild, you know, like at Toys R Us or Target or what have you. That's because he's always packaged one per case. So for every, like, 3 Morgans there's only one Eugene. Which is a shame. He looks like he's a good figure. I guess they figured kids wouldn't want him, and most people wouldn't want him just because he's a wimpy character, but, you know, I think, well, what do I care? I already got him. That's for you guys to suffer. Anyway, 12 plus, of course, for only... If you're 13 years old, you can have them, but if you're 11 years old, you can't. Literally, they have to ask you for your license for that. Yep. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Okay, Series 8 McFarlane Toys. Nothing really new. I did a review of Dale there. I did a review of Morgan. I'm doing a review of Eugene. Did a review of Rick. And did a review of Carol. Make sure to check those out. They're really good figures. All except for Morgan. He's not the greatest, but he's still fairly good. And I'm going to be reviewing Bob sometime in the future, and Tyrese I don't think I'll ever be able to get because he's a Target exclusive. He's even more rare than probably any other figure of this wave. Now let's crack this guy open. Okie doke. Now straight out of the package we see he does come with quite a few things. And this helmet up here looks like it's just the helmet that came with the Riot Gear Walker. Now, some of you might not know this, but one of the Riot Gear Walkers came with a removable helmet. It didn't come off easy, but it is removable. And I wonder if this is the same sculpt. Let's take a look at that once I get it out. Okay, first gotta pull off one of these rubber ties. Lately, they've made these a little easier to pull off, though, so... nope. Not on this guy. Let me pull out my knife here. Swiss Army. Okay. Now he's out of the package. He looks pretty good right out of the package. Looks fair, and now let's get the accessories out. It's always got to be so much tape, it's annoying this. He looks like he has all original accessories except for possibly that helmet, which I'm sure doesn't fit on his head because of his hairdo. Okay. Man, this one is... Why so much tape? Look at that, that's like 10 yards of tape right there. What the heck? Who needs that much tape? Let's hope that his leg doesn't break off like other figures of this series. That would suck. Okay. Right out of the package, this thing is all tangled up in itself. I'm not sure what that story is, but yeah, it's not broken. Okay. Let's take a look at the accessories first. That'll be easy. Okay, now here's the helmet that he's come with. It looks fairly nice. It's clean, unlike the Riot Gear helmet, but upon further inspection, I think this is the same sculpt, yes. It has this notch up here on the top, same as the one on this helmet. They're differently painted, though, so it makes it look different completely. However, it is the same helmet. This one's the one that came with Series 4 Riot Gear Walker, and this one just came out with Eugene. You can tell the differences. I like this one's paint better, but this one is cleaner looking. So, let's see if that fits on his... what do they call that? Oh, I wish I remembered that. That's, I think, an important thing to remember what they called that hair. Mullet. Yes, it is a mullet. Business up front, party in the back. Yeah, it does not fit on his head. But there are figures that it does fit on the head of. Mainly, I found that it fits on Morgan here, which looks kind of cool. Yeah, see? And Morgan did have a helmet on at one point, but it works better with his gas mask type thing on because that was what he was wearing when he wore the helmet, I believe. Let me pop that off. And I figured this is probably just an accessory that he's supposed to like carry because I'm not sure he even wore it in the show, so I don't think it's needed for him to be able to wear it. He looks very spindly around the leg area. See that? Yeah, that looks ridiculous. He looks very unnatural in the clothing, but I guess the actor probably did too. I can't remember too much what he looked like in that because he didn't wear this much. He wore this like one episode, I believe. They gave him this, I'm sure, because it makes him look like more interesting of a figure than if they just had him in his dorky clothing. So if you weren't watching the show but you wanted to get some figures of the series, I guess, you wouldn't turn this guy down because he's got an interesting gimmick to him, right? Yeah, why not? Okay, now let's see how the machine gun looks. Holy nice. Yeah. This is a new gun for sure. Look how long that banana clip is. Or just an extended clip. I have no idea. I am not good with technical terms. But dang, this is a nice gun. This one's definitely one of my favorites right off the top. Not so sure how it'll fit in that guy's hands, but very nice. No great paint, but the sculpt is really nice. It's got a little bit of silver touch there and like here, not much. And then the strap is a harder rubbery type plastic. It's not like rubber, but it's a hard type of rubber. Not like the bungee gut rubber. Anyway, let's see how that fits in his hands, which he's got some ugly hands. Look at that. Okay, let's get some focus here. Those hands, those are big meat hooks. Look at that. Yeah, those polar sausages aren't going to be very good for posing with. Let's see what that looks like in comparison to Dale's hand. Dale's hand looks more natural. This guy's look huge. I don't know, maybe the actor has huge hands and that's what that's all about, but also there's no trigger finger on this figure. So it'll be hard to get this gun in his hand, I'm sure. Yeah, this has a lot of things that kind of want to yell failure. So, right off the bat, from what I can tell so far, this is not the best figure of the wave, but probably not the worst. Worst would probably be the Tyrese figure, because he's just he's a reuse of the same figure with slight differences. Which, yeah, the Carol was that, but she had a lot of new things, so, yeah, anyway. Yeah, he can't hold this double-handedly or anything, so might as well not even be able to hold that at all. Just hook that around his shoulder. I suppose that works nicely. Yeah, as for him holding guns, that seems useless. He's not going to be able to. He's not a knife guy or a fighting guy or anything, so really, if you were going to take one of the characters and turn them into a figure, he was probably the worst one for them to choose. Now let's look at the backpack here. It's got these weird straps around there. Nice paint. Good sculpt, and it's very dirty looking. Yeah, I like that. Good little details. It's small and all. But let's see how that hooks around his shoulders. Now the one that came with Morgan was extremely tight on him, but this one seems like it's going to be very loose. It has that regular hook-in part there. And that is hard to get in. Get in. And presto. Eventually. Here we go. Yes, it is in there. And that does not fit nicely at all. That looks ridiculous. You know what? This figure is just a big, dorky figure. To match the character, they decided to make him a very awkward figure. This does not fit on him in a way that I would call comfortable at all. And then I've seen other people, they hook the helmet here to just the back part. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, there you go. So now you've got the helmet, the backpack, and that. And he can carry his gun, too. It's almost like the perfect figure, right? Look at that. My darn phone. How unprofessional of me. Yeah. Okie doke. Sorry about that. I'm not going to restart this because this is the 5th time I've restarted. So, let's take the backpack off and look at the overall figure. Yeah, let's look at his head sculpt first. Fairly good. I like all the hair sculpt, and definitely has that mullet sculpted well. I think it looks like the actor. So the head sculpt is good. The body sculpt does not look so good, but I'll get over to that in a second. His paint's fairly nice on his head too. I mean, it's got the brown with a lighter brown brushed over it. He's got weird ears. Look at that. Ugh. Does the actor have weird ears? I don't know. I haven't looked at this guy very much. He's got blue eyes too. And then a mole. Is that mole natural? Is that supposed to be there? Or is that just a paint defect? I'm going to say it's natural and supposed to be there. Okay, now we've got his sculpt here, which has, his body sculpt, has a shirt underneath and then this big riot gear vest. And then it's got the bottom shirt sticking out there, which makes him look extremely dumpy. Puffs out way far in the back. Unnaturally so, actually. It kind of gives me the feeling like they were going to sculpt him regularly, but then decided to stick on all the riot gear stuff. So they had to scrape down everything and jam the riot gear onto there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then on the arms, it looks all thick and chunky from that riot gear piece. Everything's stuck on there, nothing's removable. Vest stays on. Yeah. And then there's the back of his legs, which look horribly ridiculous. Oh, jeez. If they did this like they did this riot gear zombie, I think it would have looked better. Yeah. I mean, it looks similar, but the riot gear looks more natural on this guy. Come to think of it, their feet look awfully similar. Nah, not the same feet, but similar look. Yeah, you would think that they might reuse some parts, but I don't see anything that's really reused, right? I don't know, maybe there is. Tell me what you guys think about that. It's possible. I mean, there are parts that look similar, but then again, it looks more natural on the walker here. I'm going to say nothing was reused, just because that's not something that McFarlane does with their regular figures. They only do that with like flashback or exclusive figures. But Eugene is a tall character, and a tall guy in real life. He was like 6'1", so I think they've got him about accurately sized here. Nah, Rick only is slightly smaller than him. That's not about right. Well, I mean, Rick is smaller than him at least, so sure, why not? Okay, now let's get a quick side-by-side here with other figures that wear riot gear. Here's the Paul Monroe figure that has riot gear. Again, looks more natural than this guy. And then here's the Comic Glenn that has riot gear. And then here's the riot gear vest on this Glenn right here. What do you guys think of that lineup? They actually kind of look like they could be in the same, like, Survivor Squad or something. All except for this guy, who's probably a zombie. Yeah. You can definitely tell he's a zombie. Yeah. Man, this one has really good sculpt. Dang. Okay, anyway. Back to the figure that's not as good. But let me show you a little something here. Some people thought maybe this vest is the same as this one. I don't see very many similarities. I mean, it's made to look similar, but it's not. You can tell the same vest that's just been sculpted on. Yeah. But yes, it does look like the same vest, but not the exact same sculpt. Yeah. Confusing, I know. Anyway, let's go over articulation since I've pretty much gone over everything else except for nice treads. Look at that. Sweet. Okay, let's start with the head. Head can move, can't move 360, but it can move to the side that much and that much. It can move up that much, not much at all, and then it can move down quite a bit, which is probably good because a lot of characters are smaller than him, so he can look down on them. Yeah, look how big he is compared to Maggie here. Amazing. Okay, now let's go over the arm articulation. Can't move up too far at all because of all the gear on there. Also, there's these flaps that are separate parts. Not sure what the story on that is. Okay. Can do a full 360 at the shoulder. Can do a full 360 at the elbow. He can bend not very much, which is why he can't do a double holding pose. And let me give him a weapon that he could actually hold here. There. Now he looks like he could actually defend himself. This is probably one of the only weapons that he can hold that don't look ridiculous. Don't expect him to hold like guns or anything. That's next to impossible. And now we move on to the wrist. Wrist can do full 360, and then it doesn't seem to have the same type of articulation that all the others have. Seems a bit off. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, and it can move up and down in a rolling dice motion, or slashing, I guess. And then you can do a scratch at wall pose. And then the other arm seems like it can do pretty much the same. Yeah. Looks like it bends the same amount and all. Yeah. Okay, and then at the wrist it can do the same. And then at the legs we get splits, which he can really pull off there. It looks nice, except for the disgusting crotch in there. And look how wide he is. I mean, here's what the Morgan figure looks like in a splits pose. You can see, yeah, jeez, I'm looking at crotches here. Yeah, see? So you can tell that this is a much thicker figure. Okay. And now here he is kicking forward, which is restricted immediately by the jacket on here. Yeah, so really, if you wanted to make a custom out of this guy, make him a custom in his regular clothing. I think that would be cool, much better than this. I think this is a failure figure. I'm just going to say it right out. If you like this figure, it's probably because you're a Eugene fan and you would take any figure of his. Anyway, legs, both legs are restricted completely by kicking forward. They can kick back a fair amount, and then knees can bend to a good degree. You could do a running pose. Yeah, and then other knee bends that much. Little bit of ankle articulation side to side. That's ankle pivot right there, which means he can do splits while keeping his feet on solidly on the ground, which I could show you if my camera could move. See that? That's what ankle pivot is for. If you were wondering why do toys need ankle pivot, that's what they're for. See how solidly his feet are on the ground? That's amazing. Anyway, and that's pretty much all the articulation on this guy. No side. Nope, there is side to side. Amazing. Check this out, guys. Yeah, wow, that's the best waist articulation I've seen. Full 360 there. Can't move forward or back or anything, but that was pretty good. Okay, now let's pull out the car to see how he can drive. Let me lower this. Here is a Jurassic Park vehicle, and as you might know by now, Jurassic Park and Walking Dead are similar scale, and they can fit in each other's vehicles. But the way he gets into a sitting position is not all that great. I'm not expecting him to actually be able to sit on here. No. Okay, guys, that's a disappointment. Not only is he chunky looking and unnatural looking, but he can't sit down even. So, all things considered, I'm gonna say this guy is a no-go. He's probably, I would get what's the worst figure? I'd get the Tyrese before I'd get him. I kind of wish I didn't get him because Eugene is not a great character to start out with, but then his figure has to stink too. That sucks. Okay, well, I kind of expected him not to be the greatest, but I did hunt him down, and that was worth it. I got to have quite an adventure, and I got to do this review, so hopefully I get some views and some likes for this, because this was a lot of work. And he looks ridiculous with all of his stuff on. Okay, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to watch all my other videos. Make sure to watch future videos. Make sure to check out my custom that I'm going to have in the future, which you probably haven't seen. Now, okay, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.